Good evening and welcome to your Northern Gunners Gonna Get You podcast with myself, Lewis Roper, Tom Mason and Matthew Simkis. Podcast number 2 of the season. How are you both doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, mate. How are yourself?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, looking forward to getting into a bit of a conversation about Sunday's game.
Yeah, let's start with that then. So, beat to Brentford 2-0. I mean, I predicted a loss anyway on that pod. Matt said 6-0, I think. You said 2-2. But yeah. Another 2-0 loss. It was awful, wasn't it? It was awful.
It still wasn't great. I mean, again, like the Brentford game, there was short periods of the game where we looked all right, but nothing of any real substance. Still, we didn't really create anything against Chelsea, maybe an odd half chance, but nothing to really write home about. And again, maybe we should have had a penalty, but at the minute, a dodgy referee decision is not going to save the games anyway. I mean, even if we'd have scored that, Chelsea probably would have gone on and scored another 1 or 2 anyway, just put it to bed.
Yeah, it was men against boys, wasn't it? They showed why they're probably one of, if not the best team in Europe, and where we are for a reason. We're in the middle of a rebuild, and you could tell there wasn't a lot of cohesion on the pitch. Players didn't seem to know what system they were supposed to be playing either. Really, I was quite surprised we didn't sort of go 3 at the back like we have against Chelsea in the past, because that seemed to work really well in the past, and he just went back to a back 4, which I was really surprised with, to be honest.
Yeah, I must admit I was expecting a 3 at the back, but maybe we haven't got the players available to play 3 at the back at the minute.
Well, I think that was the main thing, wasn't it? I mean, Ben White was ruled out, so Holding came in. I thought he had a decent game for a defender, but his centre-back partner, Murray, again, for the second week running, he had an absolute shocker. Shocker.
He got bullied off, didn't he? He got pulled in to Lukaku. When he got pulled in, he got bullied off the ball, and it just opened a lot of space. What I didn't understand is why our left and right back were playing so narrow. It was all, like for a lot of the game, Tini and Cedric seemed to be almost hugging. Holding and Murray, it was really narrow, and I just don't know why we did that. But
do you think that was to get close to Lukaku, and then it just didn't work anyway?
Yeah, but they just exploited that, didn't they? Reece James had so much time on that right hand side; it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was to do with Tini having one eye on Murray. I think when you're playing alongside someone you're not too sure about, you're always going to overcompensate and try and cover for him. And I think that was why he was playing so narrow, because he was constantly thinking, I've got to be backing Murray up, because he just didn't trust him against Lukaku, which, to be fair, Lukaku's a beast and he's going to bully a lot of defenders this year, not just Murray. But I think that was one of the reasons. There was a lot of space out there. He was tucking in and trying to cover around a lot for Murray's, just obvious weaknesses, really.
Yeah, he was quite good at avoiding that confrontation with Holding that he's lost in the past. He sort of picked on Murray and it worked for him, didn't it? And like you say, there's so many levels above us at the minute. It just showed on the pitch.
But I mean, before Murray's injury last season, I thought he looked quite good. Before he got injured last season, I honestly thought he looked competent, especially against, was it Man City he played against?
Yeah, I must admit, when we said we were signing him, I was quite pleased, but I don't know if he's lost a touch of pace or what it is, but I agree the injuries affected him. He's not the same player he was when we signed him.
No, I think it's a confidence thing as well. Yeah.
They've worked him out. Opposition have worked him out as the weak link in the defence and the targeting him. Simple as that. He ain't good enough.
No, he does. He does turn like he's in treacle, doesn't he?
He plants his feet and he can't move. That's his problem. He's not mobile enough.
And the thing is, Mertesacker wasn't quick, but he could read the game a lot better than Murray. He was always in the right place.
Yeah.
And he could marshal those around him to benefit him and to sort of cover up his inadequacies, which Murray doesn't do.
But then again, he is our fourth choice centre half at the minute, and obviously through COVID and illness, he's having to play. Hopefully, he won't be playing there much longer.
I mean, rightly or wrongly, regardless of whatever you think about Holding, he's probably our third choice, even though I think he could probably be argued to be starting alongside Gabriel, but he is our third choice centre back. So at the end of the day, we've got no proper right back, a fair choice and a fourth choice centre back at the minute, and then Kieran Tierney, who's injured again. So there's no excuses. There are excuses, but there's no reason. There's no reason that we should be playing as poorly as we are, even with the sort of players we're missing. We should be putting in better performances than we have done in the last 2 games, regardless of the players we're missing. We've not been tactically right. We've set up wrong in both games for me, and we've not looked like we wanted to win either game. That's the worst thing. We've not really looked like we're busting the gut to win the game, apart from a couple of players, Smith Rowe, Tierney, and probably the Conga. They're the only ones for me that look like they've been working the socks off.
Yeah, and I mean, did we really look like scoring as well? Like you say, I don't even think we had a shot on target. We're just lacking so much at the minute, and I'm not too sure what's changed from the back end of last season where we was doing so well, really on form, to now. I'm not sure where that's gone. Like, we have got injuries, yes. We have got people out with COVID and stuff as well.
But we're still feeling a fairly decent side in the last 2 games. It's not been an awful side. It was still a side for me, good enough to beat Brentford at least.
Yeah, yes. Like I say, Chelsea were not expected to, look at their bench, for example. It cost more than our squad, I think, but we're not expected to compete with them at the moment. But I just don't think we looked up for it. And it showed at full half-time and full-time when you heard boos on I did anyway, on the telly.
It's been a problem for a long time, that though. You can go back as far as the Villarreal semi-final. The fact that we didn't even look up for a European semi-final, I mean, that's just frightening. It's not what it just feels to me like Arteta's so scared of losing that he sets up so negatively and he doesn't know how to change it mid-game. It's like there's a massive lack of confidence and fear of losing in the team that overrides any sort of ability to express themselves and play decent football.
Yeah, something's not clicking, definitely. There's something amiss. Either it's, the tactics are too hard for the players to understand, or the players aren't capable of carrying out the tactics that Arteta wants them to do. There's definitely a balance missing in the team, 100%. It's just not fluid. Nothing's fluid. Our attacks are so predictable. There's no chemistry amongst the players at all. It's hard to put your finger on, really. It just doesn't look right.
No,
and as well, there's you go, Matt. Sorry.
All I was going to say is, if you watch the games, our tactics look like give the ball to Tierney, let him bang the ball into the box. But let's not put anyone in the box. We'll just have him swing it in so it looks like we're trying. That's what it looks like when you watch the games.
Yeah.
Now you make 100%.
Nah, but there's a stat that came up, and I think it continued against Chelsea. When we're losing at half-time, we haven't won a match. No, that's not right, that is it?
No, there's mentioned that in the Brentford game. I'm sure it's like when we're losing at half-time, we've only got some like 2 points out of them games and some like 20 where we've been losing at half-time. We've only gone to draw 2 and lost the rest. It's ridiculous.
How poor's that? How poor is that, really?
It is, but I don't know what the statistic is for the rest of the Premier League, because I don't think there'll be many teams that often come back from being behind in the Premier League at the minute.
No, you're probably right.
I'd like to see what, I know it's bad on Arsenal's statistics side, but I'd like to see what the rest of the Premier League looks like.
I think why it's more obvious for us is because we go ahead in the game so little that it's more blatantly obvious, that stat for us, because we don't go ahead enough to not be behind at half time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like whereas other teams, like us, we're just not scoring enough, to put it blatantly. There's not enough.
No.
The thing
we're
is,
not scoring at all.
It's not that there's not enough attacking ability in the side, because if you look at our players on paper, there's enough there to be scoring goals in the Premier League. It's badly set up. Arteta looks like he's out of his depth. As much as I've stuck up from the past, he's really looking like he's out of his depth now. I mean, I personally hope he turns it around, because I like him and I think he's going to be a very good manager in the future. But is he going to be able to ride out these next 5 or 6 months and continue as Arsenal manager? That's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get onto that in a moment. I don't want to say that half-time or at the beginning of the game, rather, we unveiled Martin Odegaard, and we also signed Ramsdale as well. So now that we're recording this, there's like just over a week left of the transfer window. we've brought them to win. I'm happy with them 2 signings. I mean, not overly keen on Ramsdale, but I think he's more of an upgrade than Runnison. I just think the fee wasn't
Mate, I've been
justified,
upgraded
really.
on Runnison. I'm
But,
happy
you know,
with
I think,
Ramsdale.
yeah.
I think he's a good shot stopper. He's been deemed good enough by Gareth Southgate and his team to be involved in the England squad at the Euros. So it can't be a bad player if he's getting that sort of recognition. And the fact that what did we pay for him? 24 million.
Yeah.
For an England, for somebody who's been involved in an international tournament squad and is English, 24 million is pennies really in the valuation of the market. That was cheap. So all these people saying was overspent on him, I totally disagree. I think for what he's done already, his age and the fact he's English, I think 24 million's a snip.
Yeah, I agree. Like you say, for his age, you always pay. There's always a tax on English players, isn't there, for some reason?
Yeah.
You know, he's homegrown. He fills the homegrown quota, and at the end of the day, if Arteta's going to live and die by his signings. You know, when he's spending 24 million on a goalkeeper, he's got a backup goalkeeper. I don't think he's gonna be backup goalkeeper for long, if I'm honest. I think he'll be number 1 by Christmas.
Yeah, because Leno doesn't look like he's got any belief in his ability at all, does he? He looks like a total different contrast to the player that was playing before his injury. He's gone from arguably the best keeper in the league to probably the worst.
But he did make a good save against Lukaku. He did.
Yeah, he did. That was a really good save. And I do like Leno, and I do think he's got the ability to be a top-class number 1, but either he's unhappy at Arsenal, he's unhappy with Arteta. There's something that's stopping him performing at the level that he has shown in the past.
Struggles with passing out from the back, doesn't he? Playing out from the back. Modern keeper. If Arteta wants to play that way, he needs a keeper who's good with his feet. And Leno's not bad with his feet, but he's not great either.
Is Ramsdale good with his feet?
From what I've seen, only on brief clips, he does look good, yeah.
Well, the thing is, there's very few keepers that are really, really competent in that. Edison's one. And if he's going to emulate that, he needs to be able to adjust it to the keeper he's got, because Leno and Ramsdale aren't going to play the sort of passes out from the back that Edison does, and with that confidence. Because Edison could comfortably play centre midfield for some teams with his passing ability.
Yeah, easily.
And the other signing was Odegaard. I think that's an absolute steal for like 30 million quid.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, mate. I think a lot of the good things that did happen after Christmas in the sort of tail end of last season happened since Odegaard signed, and I think he was at the heart of a lot of it. Fair enough, he might not have had a lot of individual assists, but it was always more mobile and buzzing about the midfield, which we lacked before that, I think.
Yeah, I'm real pleased with it. He's young, got a big, potential side to him. He's a Norwegian captain. You are?
I was like, what are you going to say there?
No, he's Norwegian captain, 22. He's a connector as well. He connects things together. He keeps us ticking. He's also really good at leading the press. From what I remember last season of him, he was always the first leading the press from the midfield, pushing on, dragging people up the pitch as well. I think he could be a future captain if he stays. I really do. I think he's got that to his personality. If you look at him, he is a leader. So I was really happy, really happy. A lot of people are saying, I can't believe you've paid that much for him, but I think it's a steal.
It's like when you look at what people pay, like look at Chelsea paid 72 million for Kepa, and then we're getting mugged off in the news for paying that for Odegaard. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it's mad. There's always a bit of a media bias against Arsenal. There always is, no matter what we do.
Yeah. Even when we went invincible, there was media bias against us. It's just part of parcel of being an Arsenal fan, isn't it? I mean, it's been compounded at the minute because we've got so many. You can only call them fake Arsenal fans that are just like that. What's his name? The guy who screams at his camera in the car.
George Summit.
Yeah, I mean, what even is that? I mean, it's purely looking to get popular on the internet or popular on TikTok or whatever he's doing on. That's all it is. He's not an Arsenal fan.
Nah, it's embarrassing.
He's using it as a medium to be noticed, even if it is screaming like, I don't know what, at a camera in a car. Well done, mate.
No, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get a lot of banter on Facebook, Twitter and stuff. And like, my mates always ring me and go, are you going to go on Talk Sport this week? I don't want to be negative. I'm just not seeing a lot to be positive about at the moment. There's certain things like the youngsters that we're bringing through and like Lakonga and things like that. But I want to see us challenging for stuff. I just want to see us doing well again. Do you know what I mean? And since a couple of years before Wenger's end, I hadn't seen that. And it's just seeming to slip downhill that much that I don't think we'll be in the top half of the table this season. Honestly, I don't.
The thing is, Wenger was a very special manager. And we
forced him out, yeah.
Well, some people did, I guess. But even at his worst, the football was still enjoyable. It's always going to be an hard act to follow. And the thing is, Wenger did have his flaws because in the last sort of 2 or 3 years, he didn't really do anything to sort of build the squad. He bought the odd player here and there, but it was quite a thin squad, really. He left, even for Emery. Emery had a lot of picking up to do, and Arteta's had the same. We're just going to have to get used to the fact that I don't think we'll win a trophy for 3 or 4 years now. And it's going to be a long road. Regardless of what manager we've got, there's going to be no quick fix to this. And we're just going to have to suck it and try and enjoy it as best we can. All I want, I mean, I just want to see a team that goes out there, tries to win the game, tries the best, and plays some enjoyable football. We're not getting that at the minute. And I'd just be happy with being able to enjoy a game again, if I'm honest.
But the point that I want to try and get across is that I don't want us to slip that much that we end up being like I wouldn't say like a Burnley, but maybe like a Newcastle, where we have good support, but we're just not doing anything. We're just sat there season after season after season. And I don't want it to get like that. And I think we're in danger of it going like that pretty quickly.
I think it will have to be like for a little bit if we're going to get back challenging for the league. We're going to have to give it, because it's obviously trying to get a young squad together to build for the future. But if that's the case, if they are going to totally go with youth, they need to let them go out there and express themselves and make their own mistakes and learn from it. They can't be caging them up and making them play this negative football. It's not going to develop them positively for the future anyway.
Yeah, it depends how the fan base reacts. If the majority of the fan base has got the patience to see it through, to let the youngsters come through, make their own mistakes, like you say, and us maybe not challenge for things for 3 or 4 seasons, hopefully you'll see the upside to that. They'll all sort of peak together and we'll have a nucleus of a really good team challenging not only for the top 4 but hopefully pushing for the title. It's whether or not people will sit back and put up what we're putting up with for 3 or 4 years, which I don't think they will. Fans nowadays want instant success. They want or maybe not instant, but they don't want to go longer than 2 seasons without a trophy. That's where a lot of modern fans are. A lot of fans aren't used to going decades without winning things. So I think nowadays it's got to be the instant success. The fans are going to be on Arteta's back within. Well, they already are, but it'll get even worse for the next 2 or 3 games we don't win. And I think the board will want to give him the time, but I think the fans will make it impossible for him to stay.
The thing is, there's only 2 ways it can go now. It's either fans give him the time or learn to give him the time, or, well, what is the other option that Kroenke comes out and says there's 300 million because it's not going to happen. So fans are going to have to learn just to suck it and see. And just
exactly.
Well, I don't know this. We've spent 130 million already. We have got money.
Yeah, but that's all self-generated money, though, isn't it? It's all. I mean, there's a clear pattern here. We're waiting until we get rid of somebody to buy somebody. I mean, all our transfers sort of stuttered until we got rid of Wilter.
Yeah, our net spend at the end of the summer will probably only be 50, 60 million, I think.
Which for our turnover is pennies, really.
Yeah, I don't think we won't have a net spend of 150 million come end of the summer, no chance. And that's sort of the spending you need to be looking at to try and claw your way back.
And I think he spent the money that has been spent this summer. I think it's been spent wisely because it's in positions that we did need to strengthen. It's just that we've got so many positions we need to strengthen that are we going to be able to afford to strengthen? Like we glaringly need a right back. I think we need another midfielder. Arguably need another striker. Are we going to be able to strengthen everywhere we need this summer? Probably not. There's going to have to be sacrifices made, and maybe this is the end of our activity.
I
still think we'll sign one more.
Yeah,
if he does, I hope it's a right back because I think we look really unbalanced at the minute. And like I've said before, all the attacking is going down the left hand side, and it's affecting Pepe because if Pepe had Tini behind him, I think you'd see a much better version of Pepe than somebody who's sort of alone out there, no real support. Every time he gets the ball, he's got 2 or 3 men to beat on his own. It's a repeating pattern. Long ball to Pepe, right back, centre back, and midfielder on him. It happened all the time against Chelsea.
Yeah. There's no overlap. No overlap. If he, like you said, if you had a right back backing him up, either underlapping or overlapping, it'd drag away some of them defenders. I mean, like you said, 2 or 3 men around him. Yeah, he's a good dribbler, but he can't beat 2 or 3 men every time. Not at the highest level in the Premier League. It's not under-league football.
No, and teams know this, so they know that they've got to cover the overlap or the underlap from Tierney. They know they've got nothing to cover on the right apart from Pepe, and they just smother us and stifle us. It's not hard to defend against. That's what's the biggest worry about Arteta, is that he's not finding an answer to this problem, and whether or not we buy or not, that's his job to do, and he needs to start doing that very quickly.
So the question that was going around the other channels that I watch and various interviews is, it's only 2 games in. We can't call for his head yet. They're not going to sack him yet. 100% not going to sack him yet. But how long do you give him to turn it around?
I still maintain with what I've said all along Christmas. I'm losing. Don't get me wrong. I am losing more and more patience with Arteta, but I still think give him till Christmas. Mainly because I don't see the point in sacking him now. He's just bought 5 new players. He's probably going to get 1 more, like you say. What's the point in getting rid of him now when the manager's available to us at the minute? I don't think he's going to vastly improve on what he's doing anyway.
No, I agree. Got to give him till Christmas. Got to give him a chance to get his full strength team on the pitch as well. To be fair, he hasn't had that this season yet. So can't be judged fully. Once he gets all his signings on the pitch, playing together, I think you'll see a different Arsenal. Well, I'm hoping you'll see a different Arsenal. But yeah, definitely Christmas.
And I think
so. I'm going to be a bit sterner. Sorry, Matt, for interrupting you. I want to be a bit sterner here. I'm going to give him West Brom, Man City, Norwich, Burnley. That's it.
But then who do you bring in?
Ruthless.
That is ruthless. But I think if we lose to West Brom tomorrow, I think we're going to get beat to Man City anyway, but we'll come on to that in a minute. I don't think we're going to even score against them, to be honest. If we don't get anything from Norwich and Burnley, and we're in that bottom 3 after them, he's got to go.
Yeah, but who do you replace him with? Who do you replace him with? That's my point. I just don't think there's
Big Sam.
To replace him with.
Give up, mate. I'm better off putting you in charge, mate. Big Sam, give over. Arsenal fans won't tolerate that.
No. Everyone wants Conte.
I just don't think it'd make a massive difference personally, but I don't know. I'm just one person, aren't I? But all I know is that if and when they decide to sack Arteta, they've got to be able to back that up with trying to get a big manager in on big money to try and sort this mess out. Because if they're going to get rid of the guy they've backed like this, they need to back that decision by paying big money for a manager that they think or that has got the ability and proven record of being able to sort this out.
The only other thing I am going to say is that I was listening to TalkSport this week, and even Manchester United fans are giving Ollie stick again. And he's doing decent things for Man U, really, to be honest. And he's still getting a lot of stick. So really, I just don't know.
But their fan base is a bit like ours, where, especially with Man United's history of winning the last 20, 30 years, they expect it.
So here's a question for you then, Matt and Tom. If Ollie was in charge of Arsenal, would they be doing better?
No, I don't.
Is Ollie a better manager?
Definitely
I don't
not.
think he is.
No way. That's what's letting them down. Their squad's good enough to be probably winning the league. It's his incompetence as a manager that's letting them down, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you put Pep or Klopp in charge of that side, they're winning the league. Their squad is really good. And you notice a lot from our new fans. When a result goes against them, it's just like a roulette wheel of which place you would blame this week. Bissaka, whatever. It's just a constant wheel of a different player every week that's at fault. But their squad is good enough to win the league. Look at their midfield: Pogba, Fernandes, Cavani up front. Then they've just bought Sancho. They've got Varane, Maguire at centre back. They've got a choice of two really good goalkeepers. They've got a really good side. There's no
Greenwood
way.
and Rashford, some good players.
And that's why. And Man United fans should be getting frustrated by going to Southampton drawing 1-0. They should be going there and winning 2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
I wish we could do that. We can't even score at the minute.
We will. You know me, I'm a big Arteta fanboy. I think he will turn it around. I really do. Let him get his players on the pitch.
You think he will?
Yeah, I do.
So where do you two think we'll finish at the end of the season? I've said about 12th, 13th. I think bottom half. Where do you two think?
7th.
I think between 5th and 8th.
Oh, 5th and 8th.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, we've got a week left until the end of the transfer window. I think we'll bring one more in, but it will depend on who leaves. We've seen that Willian, apparently his contract's been terminated today, and he'll be going to Corinthians. Lucas Torreira's gone out on loan. Yeah, I think we might have to subside some of his wage. Torreira's going out on loan. And Nketiah might be going to Crystal Palace for 10 to 12 million. And I'm sure there's someone else as well that's linked with a move away.
If Palace want him, take 8 just to get rid of him. Just take it out.
Yeah, you're not an Nketiah fan.
8 million quid. All-time leading under 21's goal scorer. 8 million quid.
Yeah, but mate, I'm not being funny. Half of them goals were against Belarus under 21.
Yeah.
Like against top sides.
How many appearances he got for our first team though? And you've got Chelsea selling players that have had one first team appearance for 20 million.
Yeah, but they've been out on loan and been in the shop window, whereas Nketiah's been coming off the bench and missing sitters for Arsenal.
To be fair, though, Chelsea have got about 100 kids out on loan, and then they just get rid.
That's as much as I hate Chelsea. That's what they do well. They've got a lot of young players. They learn about 30 out of season, and the ones that do well, that they're doing good enough. Like Tom says, they've been off for 20 million, and that's them binning them off. We're having to push out like Tom. Like, to be fair, he is the England under 21 all-time top scorer, and we are having to settle for 8 to 10 million from that. Is embarrassing, but at the minute, people know we need the money, and that's why we're struggling to sell players, because people know they can undercut us, and our board don't want to do that. So that's why we're keeping hold of our Deadwood.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll keep Lacazette, so I don't think we'll bring a striker in. I think we will go for a right back, but that's if Bellerin and Ainsley move on. I think it'll be both of them to move on before we do.
We need a right back regardless. I know what you're saying, that we are depending on players going out, but we definitely need a right back, and I'm sure they can see that.
So who would you bring in? Who is he out there that makes our squad better?
As much as I hate to say it.
You're going to say Trippier, I know you were.
Well, he's available.
He would definitely make us better.
It.
Yeah. That's the level we're at with our right back.
As much as I hate his heritage, he would improve it.
But the problem that I've got with that is if we bring him in, he'll do us good for a year or so or two, and then he's another old...
Yeah, that's all we need, mate. Somebody to get us through the next couple of years to stabilise it. That's all we need.
Yeah, but he's an old player and he'll be on big wages. Big wages.
Yeah, but that's fine. Get him in for a couple of years and try and develop a youngster or get a youngster in that time. But we just need somebody at right back to stabilise it and give us an option, and we don't have that. And even if we do get him on 150 grand a year for 2 years and he does well for 2 years and then he's crap, then that's good. That's fair enough. He's done his job. See you later. We'll get somebody younger in. But at the minute, unless we're going to go for Aaron's that has got his weaknesses and is going to need a lot of development. Same with Lamptey or whoever else we've been linked with in the past. At least he's a proven England international right back. He's won a La Liga last year and he's better than what we've got. Even if we only get 2 decent years out of him, I think it's a good move.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I'd be happy with Trippier. I think that shows the level we're at in terms of the right back position. Really, he's okay. He's not amazing, but he's better than probably what we've got at the minute. He would come, like you said, Lewis, with big wages because of his age. But then, like Matt said, we only need him for a year or two, and hopefully look at getting someone in, to learn under him and take his position in a couple of years. I don't really know who else is out there, to be honest with you, though. But, as an option other than Trippier, like you say, Max Aarons, but I've not seen enough.
Really.
No, I've not seen enough of him, to be honest, to know is he better than what we've got? I don't know.
He's faster. He's a quick, he looks quite a quick, powerful player, but he's got a lot of development to do in his game from what I've seen. Like his defending and technical side needs a bit of work, but that's stuff that can be taught. His physical side's there.
Yeah, I always think it's mad how we don't produce any fullbacks through the academy either. Thinking over the years, who's come through our academy at fullback? Ashley Cole.
Clichy.
And Clichy we signed as a 16-year-old, didn't we?
Yeah. But you are right. Like we seem to be churning out these midfielders with loads of prospects, but you don't hear of any defenders coming through where they're thinking, God, this kid could be the next Tony Adams, or this guy could be the next Lee Dixon, or this is the next Nigel Winterburn. There's none of that. No,
that's what I mean. I cannot think of a decent defender that's come through our youth system in a long time. We just don't seem to produce them.
No, we don't.
Which is a bit of a flaw, really. It's a position that...
since Adams, has there been a defender come through the youth system and play consistently in the league?
No, I don't think so.
Apart from Cole, obviously, Cole.
Ashley Cole, and that's it, yeah. Not for Arsenal, anyway. I mean, there's a couple that have gone out to other places, haven't they? Here and there. There's a young kid who's gone to Millwall at the minute. I don't know if he's on loan.
Oh, is it?
Is it McGuinness and Dan Ballard or something?
Yeah, I think that might be it. Whether they're going to be any good, I don't know. But going back 10, 15 years, I can't think of one that's stayed in the Premier League anyway. Could be massively wrong.
That's worrying, that, isn't it? Considering we've gone from a team that was so defensively oriented to not producing any of our own defenders for the best part of 30 years. That's frightening.
Just going on our youngsters, did you see that goal from Amari Hutchinson today?
Yeah, it was nice on it. He scores nice goals every under-23 game, though. I think I'm hoping. Well, I don't think he will because he's played today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he played, scored.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see him tomorrow, but I think him and Aziz need some game time this year to see, one, to see whether they're as good as we think they are, and two, just to give them some exposure to that level.
So then, Tom, we'll start with you with the we're going to go West Brom game. Me and Matt get to go back to watching the Arsenal. Away to West Brom in the Cup. Top of the Championship, destroyed Sheffield United 4-0. I watched them on Sky last week. I'm not confident. Really, really not confident,
No, I'm not. I'm not either.
How bad is that to say that we're going to a Championship side and I am not confident that we're going to win?
No, it'll be a tough game. It really will. West Brom, they look a good side. They're full of confidence. We're not. It depends what team Arteta's going to put out. Is he going to put out a strong team because he needs to get some momentum? He needs a win, or is he going to think, "I'll put the kids out"?
Europe, have we?
No, I think he will put a stronger team out because I do think the pressure is under. He can't afford to go to West Brom and get beat 3-4-0. Putting kids out.
Injuries, a lot of the positions pick themselves. Like you can probably say now what the defence and goalkeeper will be.
Yeah.
Just because what other options are they?
Yeah, But well, yeah, because we've got a few out with injuries and COVID. I don't think he'll put so many youngsters in there. I really don't. I think it'll be a strong team, but I still think even with our strong team, it's going to be a tough game.
I think Ramsdale will make his debut.
I think Odegaard will as well.
Yeah.
I think Aubameyang will start as well to get some fitness.
Then I think we'll have Eldin and Murray, and then we'll have Cedric or Chambers. We'll have Tavares at left back. Because who else have we got fit to play there?
No. Have you heard if Tierney's injury is bad? I've not heard anything.
All I've heard is to do with his quad, but I don't know what it is.
I read today that him and Martinelli only had leg cramps, so they're both back in training.
Not good. That's good.
That's good. Get him back.
I don't think he'll play Tierney tomorrow.
No.
I think El Neni will play. I think Aubameyang, like say, will start, and maybe Reece Nelson, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Give them a few minutes.
He should be starting Balogun tomorrow. Give him a more comfortable game to play some minutes in, as opposed to making a debut away at Brentford.
Lacazette's back in training as well, isn't he? So I think he'll be back for Man City though.
But I think we'll win tomorrow night, and I think we'll win 3-1.
You're going 3-1.
Yeah, I think Tom's right. They are full of confidence, but it's not that different a team to the one we beat 4-0 last season, the West Brom side, sorry. And I think if he makes a couple of changes, put in a couple of new guys, keeps playing players like Smith Rowe and Saka that are full of beans, I think we'll score some goals. And
Tom, what do you think?
The other thing is West Brom haven't got a massive squad, so if they're going to concentrate on the league, they might have to play us like the weekend side tomorrow, which might go in our favour. Again, that's embarrassing. We've got to rely on that, but I think we'll win 3-1 tomorrow, and we'll go to West Brom. We'll come home happy, and then we'll get spanked by Man City. Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I really do tomorrow. I think West Brom will nick it 2-1. Only because you'll have to go in, so I wanted to drive home crying.
I've had in my head 1-1 and we win on penalties. That's what I've had in my head.
Yeah, it's all on. I think tomorrow, isn't it? There's no draws and replays, it's draws and penalties.
Is the extra time? Have they got rid of that?
I don't know.
I think it's straight to penalties, isn't it?
Yeah, something in my head saying that that's the way it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think we're going to score our first goal of the season, though.
Could be a long night for you guys.
God,
extra time and pens and driving home.
I'm fully confident. 3-1 win in 90 minutes. Come on, you Gunners.
Hopefully.
And then we're going to go on to Man City then on Saturday. Again, I get the pleasure of going, so I'm happy about that. 5 games in a row I'm going to now. I feel the love.
Nice.
Could be a bad 5 games as well.
Could be. I'll laugh if we don't score a goal. You're not coming to any other games after that.
So I'm going to throw a stat out there. The past 3 games I've been to away from home, we drew 0-0.
Oh, Lewis. Oh, mate.
0-0.
Jonah.
Yeah. The only really time we win is when we're at home against like Huddersfield or something where we nicked it 1-0. I don't have very good times. But Man City away on Saturday, dinner time kick-off. I think it'll be like the Chelsea game. I think they'll score early and I think they'll just dominate. I think 2-0 loss again. Honestly,
will we have any players back before Man City? Any defenders? Will we have Mario White back?
Gabriel's back in training.
Gabriel's back in training, isn't he?
If we've got Gabriel and Holding,
go 3 at the back.
And then if Teeny's fit, then I still think we'll lose, but I think it might be a spirited 2-1 loss. Like, we might see a bit of fight from us, but I just think the ultimate class difference will show and we'll lose 2-1 against Man City.
Yeah.
So and they might have Harry Kane by then.
Oh, no. Not that slobbering fool. To be fair, that's one thing you always do say about us. We do always look like we do have a bit of fight. The players don't look like they've given up. Not like they used to back, you think we used to go to games with Wenger, we used to get beat 5-6-0. They look like they're giving up. They don't look like they're giving up in a lot of these games.
Yeah, I mean, we are much more, regardless of the fact that we just lost 2 games to 0, we are a lot more solid than we were under Wenger and even under Emery.
We don't crumble.
No, but I think that's the problem Arteta has. I think he goes defensive, but he doesn't then now to transition that into decent attacking football when we need to. I think that's his problem.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll beat City 2-1 anyway.
Lose to West Brom and beat Man City.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, mate.
Well,
I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to the league. I don't know why. And the big games.
I'm like that when I'm going to games though. Like, I think we'll beat Norwich and Spurs 5-0 in both games. Just because I'm going.
You've got to have optimism. If you're looking on the downside all the time, it'll just do you in.
Can't be miserable all the time.
No.
As hard as it is at the minute, we still are meant to be watching football for enjoyment. So you've got to look on the bright side, haven't you?
Yeah, but in that football, lose to West Brom and then beat Man City. That is just it's just a football thing to happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've got a bit of record under Arteta about pulling weird games out of the bag and pulling them and getting a win, haven't we? So there's always that chance.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the first 10, 12 minutes against Chelsea was good. It's just as soon as they scored, it was like somebody'd let air out of a balloon.
Squad won't fit. I mean, I don't think Saka's fit yet. Like I say, I think once he gets his fully fit squad on that pitch playing, I think he'll see a different Arsenal. It's just a shame we've had a really bad start to the season. Don't get me wrong, Brentford, Brentford, people say we should be beating Brentford, but first game back in the Premier League and God knows, the top division in 70 years. The fans were absolutely buzzing. The atmosphere was banging. It was fans back in the stadium. That game would have been hard for most teams, I think.
Yeah, and people forget that for 70 minutes that game, we dominated and controlled that game.
Yeah.
And it was their passion that took it through because they worked their socks off and that was like that's going to be their biggest game of the season. The first game back, Arsenal at home, they're not going to experience anything else like that all season, and that's why they were so on fire.
They're FA Cup mates. They're FA Cup final. Like I said, I reckon, 15 teams in the league would have lost that game the same way as we did.
Yeah, and I think teams like Man City would have struggled.
Yep. They'd have won, but they'd have struggled. It wouldn't have been a 5-0 battering or anything like that.
No, it'd have been like a 2-1 or 1-0 or something. I think. And the thing is, we lost against Chelsea, but their league's ahead of us at the minute. As much as I hate it, their squad is leagues ahead of ours at the minute.
And then we're playing Man City next. So, hard start to the season. Probably the hardest start to the season we've had in a long time with a depleted squad. You've got to only think things are going to get better, I think.
Yeah.
Our season starts on the 10th of September. No, the 11th. Norwich at home.
On the mega
That
bus.
is when the season starts. I'm telling you.
The mega bus is coming.
Yeah, exactly. The boys from Hull are coming.
I mean, the limo, that's how we get to Arsenal games, boys. Limousines.
Yeah. Private jet.
Yeah, jet flying, limousine riding.
But yeah, well, we'll come back after the Man City game then and discuss both of these games. But just one more point to make just before we go. Sol Campbell's actually been posting on his Instagram asking Arsenal to see if he can come train the defenders. Would you want him to come?
Nah. He's not got a great track record as a manager or coach, has he?
No.
No.
I mean, I don't even think I'd want the great Tony Adams to come and coach. I mean, as good as a player he was, he's never translated that into a coaching capacity, has he?
No.
I mean, Steve Ball struggled.
I don't think he can do that nowadays. I don't think you can bring in a guy just because he was a good defender and say, right, coach the defence, because it's got to be all about the philosophy of the team and how you set up. You can't just have Sol Campbell say, no, this is what you need to do. There'll be coaches at Arsenal that know that already. I don't think it'd be a benefit at all. Other than
to be fair, though,
our defence
the game's changed, hasn't it?
Third best defence last season.
Yeah, it's not a terrible defence. I mean, 2-0 losses in the games we've had press the crisis button right now. The worry we should have is how little we're creating up top, not the fact that we're conceding a couple of goals again, because all teams concede a goal or two most games. It's the fact that we're not replying with a goal of our own that's the worrying thing. Yeah,
I agree, because like you say, the thing at the minute is I've got the feeling that if the opposition scores a single goal, we ain't going to win the game because we ain't going to score a goal. Do you know, we're struggling to score one. So another team gets two. That's it. Defeat.
Yeah, and like we saw against Chelsea, as soon as we go 1-0 down, all whatever belief this team had just seemed to sap away.
Hopefully, fans will get behind.
We move. We're going to West Brom tomorrow. 3 o'clock pick-up, Matt, and we're on our way to the Hawthorns.
Be loud,
I'm sick of being negative all the time. Let's try and just enjoy it and be positive.
Exactly.
And see what happens.
Be loud. Sing out. I'll be watching it on Sky.
Yeah, you might see us in the crowd.
Yes.
Probably. There'll only be about 7 of us there.
I think it'll be a decent turnout from Arsenal fans. I do.
I hope so. I'm not confident though, because there's loads of tickets going about at the minute, isn't there? So.
I've seen that on Twitter, yeah. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's quite a few going about.
But
to be fair, though, Man City aren't sold out against us as well.
Man City don't sell out against anybody, do they?
No.
True. A lot of people are still away on holiday at the minute. We're going to get a few dodgy attendances at the minute. People are still away on, kids out back, so people are still abroad and away, family holidays. So,
I mean, a skeptic might say Mancunians can't afford to go on holiday, but that won't be me. I'm only joking.
But yeah, we'll come back after the Man City game then, lads. But yes, thank you for coming on again.
No, it's good. Enjoy getting little bits off my chest. It makes it a bit easier.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries. See you again soon.
Yeah, see you again soon, chaps.
See you later.